Well done, college algebra prep students. You got access to the textbook. And so now in this video, what I like to do is go over to Pearson and kind of walk around that environment so you can get used to it and know where to find items, find your homework, and generally take a look. So let me share my home screen and go to our class, right? Again, there's a link to my math lab. So when you press on that, you'll follow the directions to open a new tab. You'll sign in with your passwords, et cetera, et cetera. And you find our course. Again, there we are. And when you open it up, you basically have our class. Now, what you're currently seeing is what I see, but here is what you guys are going to see. All right. The way Pearson is kind of designed is that it runs in a 2-week process. Nothing is really due. This is the week that prior to our week and the week of the 13th when we start. But if I increase the number, let's go to a month, you can start to see as we go out through the weeks. If you see these little green dots, that means things are due. All right. So let me go back to the 2 weeks. Oh, by the way, you can also see when things are due by going down. So you review assignments over fractions and real number systems and adding and subtracting real numbers, right? February 20th at 11:59 p.m. And then we've got some 114 material due February 27th. So you can see what's coming down the track, if you would, by that. Okay. However, let me go back to the 2-week view. Before you do anything else, all right, to save yourself and myself some heartache, right below this little monthly, weekly chart, there's a welcome to my math lab message. And below that, there's a link to a browser check. What you should do is click on that browser check link. And what Pearson's going to do is it's going to run through your browser, it's going to check all your plugins and tell you if everything is correct. So obviously mine is. It's telling me that I have the correct versions. All my plugins are there. So I'm ready to start using my math lab and getting the most out of it. If you have any errors or if you have anything's missing, my math lab will tell you, and then you can either change browsers or update your browser, follow their directions about what to do if needed. So that's the first thing you should do, right, prior to do anything else. Once you've got that established, if you scroll over or you look over to the far left over here, right, there are a bunch of buttons, all right, and it turns out that many of these buttons I would love to get rid of, but I can't. Some of them pretty much pertain to me, all right, but the big four that you guys will be using is the course home, which we're currently on. The assignment button, that's where you can actually find all the assignments. So there they all are in all their glory throughout our semester. The student grade book, as per the syllabus, I keep a running percentage of the amount that you finished. Right now, since I've been kind of fooling around, I've finished about 2.56% of stuff. All right. And then the e-text itself. When you go to the e-text, and if you're, let's say you're going to work on chapter 1.8, right? Follow the links, hit the e-text button, and what'll pop up for you is basically a copy of the textbook. It's an e-version of the textbook, but it's still a copy of your textbook. So that's why I'm telling you guys, please, and don't buy the physical copy of the book. You'll have access to it once you have the online version. So there you go. There's what the book looks like for 1.8 and all its examples. All righty, so let me come back. So again, main menu, course home, which you're currently seeing. Let me get to your view. Assignments, where you'll find all your homework. Student grade book, what your running homework percent is, and then e-text. Everything else below it, you guys go ahead and explore as much as you want, but I personally don't have any need for them, and so neither should you. Once you're ready to start going through assignments, let me go ahead and press the assignment key. When you're ready to start working on an item, all right, let's say we want to do some subtracting stuff, right? Do some 1.6 material, right? There's how many homework sets are in this guy, all right? There's 55, and that seems like quite a lot. But I promise you guys, when I do set up homework assignments, on my end, I get to see how much time it takes a student to work through it. I try to keep everything right at 60 minutes, so a little bit less, a little bit more. So if it's taking you more than 2 hours to do a homework assignment, that means you've got lots of questions and you better start asking them, right? But you can go to any problem you want. You can go through it linearly. Let me just pick, let's go to number 21, right? And let me, when you pop on that, what pops up is a pop-up, which is why you have to have that plugin ready. And then basically the problem, right? So they're asking us to subtract 5, take away 5. Um, Before I do anything else, if you're struggling with a particular problem, down here at the bottom left, there are 3 areas where you can receive help, all right? And so the Help Me Solve This button is kind of interactive. It kind of coaches you through and asks you for your input. So the problem was to subtract 5, take away 5, and it's basically asking me to rewrite it as an addition statement. So what does 5 take away 5 mean? It means 5 plus a negative 5. It'll check my answer. It tell me, well done, you're on the right track, right? And then it says, what happens when you add two opposites? Please give this, the answer, right? And when we subtract opposites, we should get 0, right? Check the answer. It'll tell me that I'm right. Good job. And then when I'm ready to close, watch what happens. What happens is the problem changes. It's a similar problem, but it changed on you. And I personally like that feature because we need you guys to do your own work. All right. So let's just say you don't want that interactive. You just want to view an example. When you view an example, it's going to show you another example. Again, it's not the same one. And again, rather than being interactive, it pretty much coaches you through the problem, right? It kind of does the work for you, reminds you of some rules and some properties, and hopefully you'll do some learning and you're ready to do this. So what is 1 take away 1? Well, we're basically canceling out the number, and lo and behold, I got it right. Okay, so good job for me. Move on to the next problem. Okay, looking at 22. Again, if I'm needing some help, there's the Help Me Solve It. There's a View an Example, but then there's also Get More Help. When you go more help, there's usually 3 options available to you. At the very top, what's missing in this one is a video. I want to make it very clear, if you do see a video help in the homework, that's exclusively to Pearson. My guided notes and my lesson plans are all on Canvas, and so the videos are separate. You'll go do the guided notes and watch my videos, and then if you're lucky, if there's when you press the Get More Help button, there might be a video exclusive to the problem you're on. It's kind of odd. Pearson does it for some problems and not for all of them. There's also a link to the textbook. What it'll do is take you to the textbook page where you can find examples and explanations of this particular problem. Or what you can do is basically ask my instructor, right? What this will do is get ready to send me an email. They'll tell me which section you're on, what question you're on, and then you can basically give me some feedback, yada, yada, yada. I'm just having some trouble. I don't know where to start. Whatever the case might be, you press send. I'm not going to do it here, but what will happen is when you press send, it'll send that email to me. I'll be able to read it and give you some feedback immediately, or redirect you where you need to go for help, or maybe address it in a discussion board, because many of you are asking it, and I'll refer you guys to that. Maybe I'll make some video lessons, whatever the case might be. All right, so there's plenty of help. What I'm purposely going to do is get this one wrong, because I also want to show you something in the long run. So 5 take away 5, right? I'm just going to say, for a silly reason, right, because negative times a negative is a positive, and then so 5 times 5 is 25, right? I purposely got this wrong. Everything I just said was untrue, all right? And notice it tells me that I got it incorrect, all right? And I want to show you something else in a moment. So I'm just going to close this out. All right. And then look what happens to the homework. It gets updated. All right. All right. And what should have happened, I'm not surprised, understanding why it didn't happen here, but notice question 21 that I got right, is has a green check mark. Let me go back to question 22 and get it wrong. All right. So let's just say I already said it was 25. It told me I was wrong. Right. Let's say it's 0 and check answer. Right. I got it wrong. I keep wanting to get it wrong because I want to show you guys something real quick. Maybe it's a 5. I got it wrong, right? Final check, right? And it was basically telling me what the answer is. But here's why I wanted you guys to see all that, all right? Because when it goes updates, what it'll tell me is that I'm wrong. So green check marks mean that you got the question right. Red check marks mean something's wrong. You better start asking some questions. I typically give you guys 5 attempts to get a problem right once we get officially going here because I'm trying to motivate questions. So if it's taking you up to 5 attempts, you better start asking questions, getting some help because you need it. All right. So that basically works you around that. When you're ready to go check your grade, here's what's going to happen, right? It's going to tell me what my current percent is. So notice my percent went down a little bit because I did get one wrong. It tells me where I've been working. I was kind of playing along, and in another video that I shot for another class, I was doing some 1.3 stuff. I only did 1 out of 39, but what you guys saw me doing 1.6 is I only got 1 out of 55 correct. All right, so it tells me where section percent is, tells me how long I was spending in it, when did I check in, when I was working, and I actually get a chance to see all that on my end. It's extremely informative. But for you guys, you're just looking at this overall percent. Again, as per the syllabus, I multiply it by 300 to give you a homework grade for the semester. Okay, so keep your homework scores nice and up. And then, of course, I already showed you with the e-text. So again, going back through this course home, right? So this is what your home screen looks like. Again, there's a week by week blow by blow, or you can go by and look at what's due, right? Nothing's due right now because we're starting here, right? But once things are starting due, you can see it down below. Make sure you do the browser check before you do anything else. Hit the assignment key to look at all the assignments and kind of go through them. Student gradebook, and the e-text, right? To go look at the actual textbook copy. So that should give you a nice rundown. Let me stop sharing my screen of the Pearson environment. So again, there's an orientation video that also walks you through how to bubble things, how to do a little bit of graphing. So I suggest you start with that my math lab orientation, excuse me, and then start doing your review homework. Get all that knowledge back about fractions and about your real number system, where their spots are in the number line, and then who's an integer, who's not an integer, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, all these crazy numbers. So get that all back. That's what this week is for, to practice, to review, to get it all back so we can officially hit the ground running and start learning lots and lots of math. All right, so that's your overall textbook stuff. If you still have questions, please email me or text me or whatever the case might be so we can clear it up. Otherwise, you guys keep pushing through the getting started module. You're almost done. Now you're going to go write your introduction. All right, see you in that page soon.